Hello, everyone. So, as you guys saw yesterday, you had Marvel's 75 anniversary quote unquote episode, or at least special, and I'm just here to actually talk about some of the things that was on there. For anyone who missed it, well, the good news is that you can actually see bits and pieces of it, except for the. Actually, you can even see the studio news or studio history as well. So there's technically at least four things you can look for. One is the history channel of the comics. They had like something which I saw in 2006, so it's quite old, but still tells you the story. You also have in the original Spider-Man VHS, there was actually something like Stan Lee's something something something. It was like something, you can actually find it on YouTube actually, so that's another thing you can watch. The third thing is yeah, I'm kind of now drawing a blank, but oh yes, the third thing is Across the Universe. That's something that most likely will be hard to find, but you already saw that. Then technically you got to see something that other people who missed it didn't get to see. And the fourth one will have to be what was Steve Ditko's. Yeah, I'm just throwing that in because I bet there's a lot of people out there who are like, Steve Ditko didn't show up. What's the deal with that? Which Steve Ditko actually refused to be seen. He refused to actually be on camera. He refused everything. The only thing you can do is actually hunt him down, go to him, and have a little conversation with him. That happened, which you can find that on YouTube too. I actually watched it on YouTube. So with that all out of the way, and oh yes, and also the History Channel, it covered the comic book code immersely. It covered it even more than what they had to do, which they only just had an hour to do this. So, well, anyways, there's many things to actually talk about. The first thing is just the fact of, well, there was an alteration in the beginning of the special. The fact that if you look at the Iron Man's armor, you can see that it was detailed with some silver or some actual iron colored thing. So it's kind of like, So well, we already saw what's in the movie, but I'm just saying maybe have another alteration. So not really sure on that one. And excuse me, there was no Incredible Hulk movie shown at all in this. Yeah, the fact that I think they technically call that a failed attempt. I don't think it's a failed attempt. It's just that, like I said in the previous Incredible Hulk video, asking what were their plan in the first place, they technically should have did what they did before, not counting Thor and Captain America, where they actually would have a movie shown in 2009 instead of like an empty space. If they would have just put Incredible Hulk in 2009, so it actually gives more hype to it, and plus they can actually have a test run without having another movie in the way. Because, yeah, let's see. If I remember correctly, you had Iron Man that came out in May, and then you had Incredible Hulk come out in June. That's too soon to actually, yeah, because the Iron Man movie is still in theaters at that time. So it's kind of like, yeah, you kind of flooded that option. So I kind of think it's sad that they actually were like, yeah, we're not going to do any more Incredible Hulk movies. I would have loved them to do it. I would have loved them to continue. I would have loved to see the leader. I just would have loved to see what they actually had in store for us with Incredible Hulk, besides just the setup to the leader, and then that's it. That's it. That's all we got. It's the setup to the leader, and the fact that I think it was I don't know, but still, yeah. Well, anyways, so we get to hear Stanley's story about how he actually needed a job. His cousin-in-law actually gave him a job at Marvel. Well, actually, it was Timely Comics. And then he basically climbed up the ladder from there. The 1967, I think, of Spider-Man, the actual live-action TV show, it got screwed over. Jimmy Kimmel straight up said, man, that was some horrible, horrible crap. That's what he actually said in a nutshell. Just the fact that he dogged it out. But you do have to admit one thing, though. I've tried to dig for it, and it was hard, but at least I did get one clip where they were like, Peter, I'm your clone. And they did a clone war, didn't they? So technically, until I can actually find even more evidence to prove that they actually got the idea from the live action show, right now it's kind of a big question of, so did the person actually watch the show and got the idea from that, or is just pure coincidence? And if we do actually come up, then that means there's even more reason why to hate the 1967 due to the fact that it did create the Clone Saga. Woo! Man, I swear that would be horrible if we found that out. Well, anyways, next up is the Captain America movie from the 90s. It was a disappointment. That's what most of them said. It was a disappointment. They were excited for the movie, but as soon as they got the VHS of it, they were strictly disappointed. They were like, oh my gosh, no. Which is most likely the reason why they're not going to put any footage of the 90s one in the actual Captain America movies, which I would still say in Winter Soldier, you could have put that in there and everyone could say, oh my gosh, this is a crummy interpretation of Captain America. They could just make it some kind of funny Easter egg on that. Even though it turns out they did have an Easter egg, the fact of, yeah, you guys know. Well, okay, just in case you guys don't know. So, we had Captain America steal a car, which in the 90s version of it, he actually did steal a car. He actually got the person to come out of his car, and then after he did that, he ran straight into the car and drove away. Yeah, so maybe pure coincidence, maybe it actually was an Easter egg. I don't know. But we know that some people actually dislike what happened in that movie. Heck, when I actually tried to look at it, I refused to continue on looking at it, and I actually skipped just to see if there was something promising left in there, which is, yeah, a down, horrible statement. Anyways, one thing they do say is that the Incredible Hulk show was magical. It was something they really, really, truly cared about, and they were happy. They were very happy with the show. Sad that they didn't even get Lou Ferrigno to say like one or two words in the thing. It would have been cool to have like some little additive to actually have Lou Ferrigno say something about the show and the fact of how he played the Hulk, how he liked the comics, stuff like that. It would have been cool. Icing on the cake. So there was no mention of the failed attempt of Doctor Strange movie/TV show. Yes, in the 70s, they tried to actually make a TV show, and you can find it on YouTube, actually. So, yeah, they didn't even mention that. They didn't actually mention Doctor Strange. They just mentioned the stuff that is getting close at hand, which is Age of Ultron and also Ant-Man. Speaking of that, Ant-Man actually, they gave us some new footage, and well, we can see the fact of it is Scott Lang, because it seems like Scott Lang is getting real too close to that, well, costume. Yeah, I would say costume or uniform. It seems like he actually is going to straight up just steal it, and it looks like Hank Pym is actually very old in this version. Unlike in many alterations, he actually isn't that old, but for argument's sake, he is old. Weird. Of course, they do have the bankrupt talked. And I remember in one video, they did actually have the explanation of how they got free. The fact that they said there were so many comics or something like that that actually saved them. Seven Webheads believes that the selling of the Spider-Man rights actually was helpful, which, not really. I mean, they were actually planning to give it back as soon, just before they actually got a Spider-Man movie out, the first one out. So it's kind of like maybe it did a little teeny tiny help, but I think chances are no. In this actual video, in this special, they said Joe Quesada actually saved Marvel. He's the one who saved it from the bankruptcy. So in this one, that's what they said. I think it might have been the other one too, but I don't remember. I just remember something about some comics saved the day. With that said, here's one thing that's crazy. It's just the fact that he saved it by saying, let's go back to the roots. Go back to where it started, which basically flares the red flag of, brand new day. We know for a fact, brand new day was one reason why that happened. Is because he wanted to go back to the roots. So, right, red flag on that. There's many people who actually, there's many people who most likely love the fact that brand new day happened. And there's many people who actually, no, sorry, it was one more day, not brand new day. One more day and brand new day. Either way, the erase of Peter and MJ's marriage, very, very horrible. Very horrible indeed. I mean, yeah, it's like, why not allow it to just continue? I would have loved to have seen what happened with Peter saving the day, and then he's like, oh crap, I have a parent-teacher meeting and something, and then the freaking villain's like, Spider-Man, come fight me. It's like, I don't have time for this. I got a parent-teacher conference. Of course, he's not going to say that out loud. He's going to basically think it. So, or heck, what about the idea of Spider-Man swinging Mayday Parker or his kid to school? The fact that she has to wear a mask, yeah, or maybe she has webbing on her face, and they swing all the way to the top of the school building, and she goes down there, and then, yeah, that would have been cool. That actually would have been quite cool to look at. Of course, we do have the horrible thing of, well, let's not forget the fact of he just revealed himself to be Spider-Man. So, yeah. Yeah, that is kind of one messed up thing, but at least this is the bad news. What's worse is the fact of, in this whole entire thing before it was one more day, it's the fact of Aunt May got shot. Technically, Aunt May died before, but yeah. Yeah, Aunt May died before, but it turns out it was a fake and a death. Yeah, death was faked and stuff. I mean, Peter did let Aunt May go, and he can do it again, but they apparently this time didn't want him to actually come to terms with that. I mean, look at freaking MC2 Peter. Do you see him crying about Aunt May every single day? No, he moved on with his life. And I think Peter Parker, period, can actually move on when Aunt May's gone. Yes, it can call him grief. Yes, he'll be crying, but he does have MJ to hold on to, unlike in the animated version where both of them died and he turned... Well, both of them died. Then you had Ben Reilly being created. He got super pissed off at him, and the Carnage symbiote attached himself to him. Because of all that. Yeah. So, they admitted the first attempt. Oh yes, they admitted the first attempt on the Spider-Man series. If you guys didn't know, Spider-Man was actually going to be rebooted in 1998 with a new series. But sadly, it didn't sell too good. It didn't sell too good at all. So, yeah, that was like the first attempt screwed over. But then they tried it 2 years later with Michael Bendis and Mark Batley, which we see how that came out. It was good. For anyone who actually really wants to see the studio history, just skip all the way to 42 minutes to 58 minutes on there, and there you go. Well, anyways, last thing is, one thing before I finish with the last thing is with Iron Man. So Iron Man, it was a gamble. That was one thing they basically gambled on. They said, oh my gosh, it could fail. Oh my gosh, it can make it. Personally, before I truly... Well, actually, no, I was Dark Spy. Yeah, I was Dark Spy. It's just that I wasn't really in live action mode. But still, I did my research. I looked it up. I looked at all the history he had. I was very interested in all that I read, everything was very, very interesting. I knew for a fact that alcoholism will be very, very harsh. That's going to be harsh to look at. One other thing that was interesting, which I hope somebody cover for me, because I really do want to see what exactly was that all about, is the fact that he created an AI, and since he created an AI, it took over a suit, and then he had to battle his suit. Then there was some stupid behind accident which made him need the arc reactor again, because before that Doctor Strange actually magically removed the shards from his heart. Then yeah, Mr. Stupid AI had to fight, and then they got injured. Luckily, the AI knew how to make an arc reactor, and he made it, and I forgot what happened to the AI. I think it got destroyed or something. He sacrificed himself. So, yeah, I would like to at least have somebody look into that, so at least I know even more about it. But for right now, I just have some straightforward what happened. But I really, really was waiting for Iron Man. I got really enthused about it, and it basically helped me with what I want to do as my normal alter ego. And then when Iron Man came out, oh my gosh, Iron Man was so great. I loved Iron Man. I mean, given previously Iron Man did have a TV series, but I was like, yeah, screw it. I said screw it to a lot of things. That's one thing you need to know about me as a kid, is I said screw it to most things. I said screw it to X-Men. I said screw it to Silver Surfer. I said screw it to mostly everything you can actually name except for Spider-Man. So yeah. Let's see, anything else? Oh yes, the last thing is Disney now has a boy market. Well, I hated the fact that Disney was like, yes, we take over Marvel. Yes. It was like, no, freaking dang no. They took over Power Rangers. You didn't see what happened with Power Rangers? They basically said, yeah, we're going to just end this. We're going to do the first 3 seasons. Then we're going to say peace out. Goodbye, Power Rangers. Rest in peace. You're dead. Not only that, but they freaking bought off Fox Kids too. And they have so many more archives of Fox Kids that's yet to get out of their dungeon. So it's kind of like, why? Why in the world? I mean, it's good. It's good that they financed them. It's good and everything. And heck, sadly, I also see that Pixar got a little bit tainted with Disney too. Yeah, the first thing to actually show that it got tainted was Toy Story with Mr. Potato Head. Yeah. But seriously, I don't like it one bit, and I can't wait when they actually are stable enough to break free from Disney. Because look what Disney did. Disney allowed Spectacular Spider-Man to get canceled. What the hell? Seriously, what the hell? And then they created the worst Spider-Man series ever. I bet even the 1967 animated Spider-Man is good by that standards. The good news is that at least Avengers is good, but they canceled another Avengers show just to get to that one. The heck. And then you had Hulk and the Agents of Smash. That technically is a good movie. I mean, good TV show. It is, technically. But still though, my goodness, man. My goodness. But at least the good news is that Disney now has an actual boy base, even though, yeah, and before even that, it was like 2002, they had Power Rangers. Given it should actually be a boy and girl thing, which even Marvel was actually a boy and girl thing. It's horrible that they actually said, well, Disney had princesses and stuff. Now they have something that boys can enjoy. Which, true, but boys and girls are enjoying this. Not just boys. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of a little bit inaccurate. And they did have Power Rangers, but they ran that to the ground. So it's kind of like, yeah, oh my gosh. They're already basically running freaking Spider-Man series down to the ground, except for their newest season that has Spider-Verse in it, which I watched it. It's pretty good. If you didn't see my review on it, you can click down below and you can see that. But anyways, I just don't think it's a good idea to have freaking Disney to have Spider-Man. Or heck, all of the freaking things. It's like, my goodness. Just no, dude. Just no. No freaking way. Alright, so thank you for listening, and I am webbing out. Peace, and if you guys haven't seen it, definitely go look for it. And of course, I will have some exclusive clips for you two to look at. So that's the good news. Let's just hope that they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so horrible. How dare you? Copyright infringement. Yeah, and then turn all Venom-like and everything. So let's just hope they're not actually going to get super pissed off by that. And, well, the other one seems to actually not getting any hassle or anything. So that's the good news. I'm whipping out. Peace.